Hi, I'm Nautica de la Cruz, and welcome to the Nautica Show. Find out what's happening on the show, and let's stay connected one-on-one through Twitter at Nautica de la Cruz and at Incom TV. Now, here's the naughty news. X Factor Simon Cowell is partnering up with Will and Jada Pinkett Smith for a new reality TV competition series in search of the world's best DJ. I know a few of those. Now, this is one show I will definitely have to watch since I am married to a DJ and I am kind of one myself. Singer-songwriter and producer Ne-Yo just added a new job title to his name, as if he didn't have enough jobs. That's Motown Senior Vice President of A&R. Now, that's a long title that comes with a big check. I wonder if he needs an assistant. Ne-Yo, call me. Actor Don Cheadle has gone from movies to TV, and his show House of Lies has won audiences 2 times over, which means Showtime has renewed the series for a second season. Congratulations, Don. Now, can you give me a role or something so I could get a check? That's your Naughty News Report. Today's special guest is a good friend of mine and has what I call mucho talent. He's a triple threat actor, singer, songwriter. Chaz Shepard, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good. You are on a show. You're on The Game, and you've been on that show for quite a while. You have a reoccurring role. Tell me about your character.
My character is the Reggie Bush of the show.
Oh.
So yeah, he's the big time football player. Grew up with Melanie, his character, of course. And now he's made it, and he's doing fantastic, and they have a special friendship that goes back to their childhood. Of course, now she's in a relationship.
Right.
And the new man, of course, played by Pooch Hall, is also a football player, you know, and making his way in the league as well. And so, what a coincidence that her buddy from childhood happens to be, you know, somebody that could be a rival for him. And so it makes for good writing for the show, so hopefully I get to be on there more.
How do you like working with the cast, with Kobe Bell and Wendy Raquel Robinson and Tia Mowry? That is such an amazing cast, and The Game has been a critically acclaimed show.
Yeah. Well, just starting off with the way the cast look, I've never seen a worse looking cast in my life, you know. All these people, you know. We've got a very good looking cast, very sweet people, good personalities. The times that I've been on the set, of course, everybody gels well together. Everybody seems to get along really well. And I have some history with Wendy and with Tia. So with Tia, with Sister, did 4 of those episodes years ago with her sister. And also did 4 different shows with Wendy, starting with Me and the Boys, Steve Harvey's first show. She was an interest on that show. Went from there, I think, to the Steve Harvey show.
Right.
Matter of fact, maybe before the Steve Harvey show, Minor Adjustments. I did that show, and she played the wife on there, and then now The Game. So we've been around each other quite a bit just throughout the years.
So she's kind of seen you grow up in the business as well.
Somewhat, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. If she paid any attention, that's what she saw.
Well, and she's all about, you know, child actors growing up and helping others to succeed in their careers as well. Let's go back to Steve Harvey, who's a good friend of mine. I've worked with him, and you've worked with him. How was that like working with such a huge comedian?
The comedy never stopped. You know, I don't know if he was not trying to be funny or if he's just naturally always funny.
I see.
But the guy is funny whether he's smiling or if he's just straight face. He's always funny. Just his perspective is funny. His way of putting things is funny. And he's a straight shooter, too. And so I've also had the privilege of having a personal relationship with him throughout the years, starting with Me and the Boys. And I hadn't spoken with him or seen him in years until I popped on the scene in the music business.
Right.
You know, and then that was another relationship that started. But before then, it was just, you know, the guy that played his son, and, you know, I also was friends with his family and stuff like that. And so now it's music, and he happened to appreciate what I do. And so all of the support that we've gotten musically has been genuine. It was no hookup at all. My manager, Dorsey Fuller, had quite a time getting Steve to really check out the music before Steve actually heard it and became such a supporter of the music. So it was a genuine build.
I remember listening to that interview going, wow, he really enjoys Love and Truth and the album, and I think you had brought it to him first. How did you transition from film to singer and songwriter?
No transition. Everything was happening at the same time, just one was in front of the world and the other wasn't. You know, so I was music from the beginning.
Okay.
Music before I even knew I was into music. I was into music, of course. So you're talking about from a baby on up. Was writing and performing music before I came out on any TV show. Actually even had a couple of offers, before I came out on any TV show. Of course, TV is right in front of everybody, so that's very present. Everybody sees that. That's what happened. And I got known for being on TV. Same time, I was writing and producing and growing in writing and producing as well, all along. At the point that I was on Seventh Heaven for about a 2-year run, I was signed to Atlantic Records during that time. It's just that that record didn't come out, so of course people didn't know the music side still then. The folks that did know about the music was the church community.
I see.
So very, very heavy in the church community. Not as much now as I was before, but I grew up in a church in Los Angeles, West Angeles, Church of God in Christ was my church, still is when I'm here. And I was very present in the music department there, praise and worship, leading over the choir, putting groups together, all of that. So they knew about it. And then, of course, now we moved to where we are now, and it's time for the world to know about it as well.
How did you know you had a gift? Or when did you know you had a gift of singing?
There was no particular point, but I knew I was gifted because I liked it.
I see.
You dig what I mean? And that's what I think how every artist knows that they're good.
Okay.
You know, you're never going to try to get in front of nobody if you think you suck.
That's right.
Unless, you know, you have some, you know, the American Idol spirit in you. You know what I mean? And you just feel like making a mockery of yourself for no good reason. You ain't got nothing better to do with your life. But if you really want to get in front of folk, it's because you already think you're good. You was in the car and you heard yourself. You know what I mean? You said, that's what's up. I just killed that.
But
you know
Chaz,
somebody needs to hear this.
Sometimes you hear yourself and you think you're good and you're not good. Right. Those are the people that end up on American Idol.
Right. But the other ones, you know, take the Fantasia approach when he asked her, you know, why.
Right.
She's like, you know, because I got big lips, but my talent's bigger.
You know?
What I mean? You know, it's the same thing. And my mother, who just passed away a month ago,
I'm sorry.
She was in my corner. She was the first one to give me vision. So I showed her that I could sing the way I could, which she didn't know, and I still remember that day. And from that moment on, she gave direction and nurtured the talent. And so I believed in me because she did too.
That's awesome. That is beautiful. Well, and not only did she believe in you, but you also have to believe in yourself before anybody else believes in you as well. Because if not, you're going to go on the wrong road, and you want to go on the right road, not the left road.
Right on.
Most definitely. Now let's talk about your album, Love and Truth. It is a very good album. You even performed for us a few times at a certain venues, certain shows. How has that transitioned from you doing movies and TVs into a whole new world of actually performing live for people?
I'm used to it.
Okay.
West Angeles has, well, just in one setting is 5,000 people. In one setting. And that's just, then that was week to week to week.
Okay.
So being in front of people is nothing new. Before I even came to L.A., to Los Angeles, I performed in front of a lot of people with my mother. Because mind you, once she knew about me singing, she was my first manager, becomes my manager.
Right.
And had me singing all over Philadelphia. You know, Black Family Reunion and just, you know, Gene Carn concert and just wherever, you know, it fit, wherever I fit and worked. So I also have a personality of loving people. So I'm not afraid of people, so it wasn't anything new to get in front of people. You know what I mean? I just feel the energy of people, and I like to give the energy I have. So it's natural, a natural time, a natural. It's not even transition. I can't even say transition. It's just natural for me to be among people. It could be 100,000 people. It's going to feel just as good to me.
Now, Love and Truth, it was put out independently?
Yes.
And how do you like being an independent artist versus someone who's on a bigger label?
It depends on the experience. I've enjoyed it because I enjoy who I'm independent with.
Okay.
You know, and so, you know, as I mentioned Dorsey before, he's been the start of the team from the very beginning of the independent, you know, transition. And that was a transition, going independent. It's been fun to learn, and it's been fun to attack it with an understanding of what we're doing. So first we understand me, we understand my ministry. I think my music is ministry. Even a love song is ministry. And so we understand what it is I'm trying to give, you know, and the way we want it to come off. You know, so I don't have to fight back and forth with a team about who I am and how I'm represented.
Right.
So we already understand what it's about in the first place. Then it's just a matter of now how do we attack it and approach it and get the rest of the world to understand it and see it, and so it's real cool. It's real cool, and I'm what you call a micromanager too.
Okay, so you have a lot of, you like to be in control, have a lot of control, and make sure that everything's done right.
Absolutely. So my hand is in everything. I want to know everything.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I want to talk about everything. So I'm not just a creative person and it's just like everybody else take care of everything else. I'm just the kind of personality that wants to be involved in every part of my own life.
Well, and the good thing about it is not only do you have control and you can micromanage, but you know where your time and where your money and where everything is going and how it's displayed, which a lot of artists are doing now, especially with mainstream kind of getting a little smaller as far as companies, record labels. Everyone's kind of going either the independent route and doing a lot of the legwork, which I've seen you do before as well. Do you ever think, what if I was on a big record company like Sony or J Records, or do you ever think about what if I would have gone that route instead?
No, because I did with Atlantic. So I know how it can go.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And yeah, the difference between independent and so-called major is marketing and promotion.
Okay.
Dollars.
I see.
That's it.
That's
Other
it.
than that, yeah. They don't necessarily have a better team than you have.
Okay.
If they have a better team, it's just because they have a better team, but not because they're major. What makes them major is major dollars. Because there are a lot of artists that are on major labels who whose careers are not that successful at all.
True.
Who've not even had some of the success that we've had, without having that kind of backing. So the personnel is the key.
I see.
And then the dollars.
Well, and then sometimes, these artists are on these major record labels and then they're shelved or they have to maintain their contract, and then what happens to them? Nothing. They're in Santa Monica singing at the corner with their guitar, waiting for some money, which I'll probably drop a quarter or not.
No, indeed.
Speaking about music, when are we going to have a new album from Chaz?
I don't know, because the next phase of this journey is the business side of that. And so one thing we're working on is the business of, the next phase of Chaz. Okay. And so being that that's still happening and being developed, I couldn't say this is when that next record is coming out. But meanwhile, while we're handling the business of the next phase, the record that is out is still being promoted and still performing it when we get a chance.
Love and Truth, and we could still get that on iTunes, Amazon.
iTunes, all of the digital distribution sites.
All right, well, good. Well, definitely. Do you have a website?
I do. Still under construction, but maybe by the time you see this, it'll be all done.
Okay.
Again, it's
and that will be called?
It's chazrecords.com.
Chazrecords.com.
And so I'm also, I was talking to another artist today, getting my social networking happening.
Very good.
So, Facebook is Chaz Shepard.
Okay. Twitter?
Both pages. One is already full, and the other one is started, but they're both Chaz Shepard. Okay. Twitter is Chaz Info.
Chaz Info.
Chaz Info.
Okay, all right. I'm going to have to follow you on Twitter. You follow me, I follow you.
Well, that's what's up.
That's what happens.
It's easy to follow you.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I'll even follow you from the back. I have no problem.
You are just too much. Any upcoming movies, upcoming roles you have coming up?
No, you never can tell.
Right.
It changes in a matter of a day. And so the last two things I did, I found out like that and shot it like that, or was on stage in just a few months. So I don't know, but I'm out. I'm going for it, when I get a chance. Music has been the main focus in community development as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so without saying more than there is to it right now, starting a nonprofit right now as well.
Tell me about that.
It's based in Philadelphia.
Okay.
And it's an improvement movement is what it is. It's about improving the community in different ways. And I'd like to start with the school district.
Okay.
And then from there we still have more planning to do, but that's in the works as we speak as well.
Anything in particular you'd like to change about the school district? Does it have to relate to the music, arts?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you go into a whole lot of different areas concerning that. The main thing is to get into the minds of the students.
Okay.
For the students to feel that they have options and to get excited about their options. There's different ways that you can take that approach, and we're planning as to how we want to take that approach. But that's the main point. You know what I mean? Without boring you with all of this stuff, the main point is the mind. And I like how the Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, because everything is mental when it comes to progress and success.
Right.
And so the things that we all seem to have problems with this generation and all of this kind of, talk, it all goes back to the way somebody thinks.
Do you have any children?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
So how is that like being a father to?
As they call it, second nature.
Okay.
Nothing awakened in me that wasn't already woke when my daughter got here.
Okay.
It's all natural. It was always in me. It was always a part of my vision, my life. I felt I knew her before she got here. I would come in late night. Her mother be asleep, and mother laying down. I talk to her to the tummy, you know what I mean, and play around and all of that stuff. And it's just natural to me. People have the experiences where they say like just the world just became bigger for them, or just things started getting into perspective. It was already in perspective for me. So our relationship is very natural, but that has a lot to do with my mother.
I see.
That's,
So when your daughter grows up, you're going to teach her a lot of the stuff that your mother actually taught you.
That's all I got for you.
Oh, that's
all I got
good.
for you is Cheryl Shepard's ministry.
May I ask
but it happens to be great for all of us.
That's wonderful.
It happens to be very, very good for all of us. It's just a bunch of wisdom.
May I ask how old your daughter is?
2.5.
2.5? Oh, that's a great age. That's when they're quite not talking back to you, but kinda.
Yeah.
And saying some words, and you're like, what was that?
They think they are.
Do you plan on ever having any more children?
I wonder. I want to have another one. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
You seem like you would be a really cool dad. Now, I have to say that raising daughters is not easy.
I know.
Because you have to wait for their teenage years.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think my idea of it all just defies all of the normal, rhetoric about it. Like, terrible twos. There's no such thing for me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a place where she's just ready to just explore and just tear stuff up and just go off and show out her personality and develop. It's not terrible at all, because, see, I'm not that guy. You ain't going to be terrible. I ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? So there's no such thing as terrible twos. If I say sit down, you're going to sit down.
Okay.
It's just as simple as that. You know what I'm saying?
There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right. It's none of that. There's nothing terrible about this thing at all. This is great.
Oh, Chaz, you always seem to amaze me for some reason.
What's up, man? Yeah.
What if your daughter one day said, "Dad, I want to be in the business. I want to do what you do. I want to do film. I want to do TV, and I want to be a singer as well."
Yeah.
How would you embrace that?
I would nurture what I see that's there, naturally. For instance, everybody thinks, I bet the music is about to be crazy. I've never, pushed her to, I haven't pushed her to do the singing note. I see what she wants to do.
Okay.
And then I nurture that. I think that's the best thing for parents to do, is nurture what's there. Nurture them, what's natural in them. And so she sees the piano, she gets up on it. I have a picture with her. She put her little monkey next to her on the piano, and she's playing it, but that's not me pushing her to do it.
Okay.
And, it's just like, wow, okay. So if she stays there long enough, then I may,
play
mess
a few
with her,
keys.
and mess around with it. If she wants to be an actress, then I will challenge her to be worthy of what she wants.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, I may just wait, end of the week, how many movies did you watch this week? You know what I mean? And if she hadn't watched any, or hadn't studied at all, you want to be an actress? Don't look like it to me.
Speaking of movies, the Academies are coming up.
Yeah.
Any particular movie or any actor or actress that you're kind of rooting for?
Yes, I'm still getting into the names. I never know names.
Oh, I'm bad at that too.
I'm, as everybody else seems to be right now, I'm a big fan of The Help.
Oh, great movie.
That was absolutely fantastic for no other reason but that it was just a great presentation of a reality in America.
Okay.
And I thought that they just nailed it. I thought everybody in it was fantastic. Movies aren't as interesting to me as they used to be anymore.
Why?
They're not as interesting.
It's not, period.
I fall asleep more often in the movie theater.
Okay.
But I don't go with the intention, but I almost have a reputation for falling asleep now. Because I think the structure of the movies aren't, sometimes the old school way is not so much as old school, it's just classic.
I see.
It works.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's taking too long to get to the punchline.
I see.
It's taking too long to see where we're going. Halfway through the movie, I still don't really know what this is about.
You feel like you wasted your $12?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I'm just going to use this as a great moment to take a nap.
Okay.
Rest.
Well, let me ask you this. what are those classic movies that you love? What's one movie that you love that you could say, I could watch this forever and ever? I'll give you an example. I love The Notebook. And another
that's a good
movie
choice.
I like
Very good choice.
is a foreign film. It's Like Water for Chocolate.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite
Never
ultimate.
heard of it. Okay.
Oh, it's a great film. You have to see that. But what's that one movie, or what kind of movies do you really like that you go, I got to see this, besides The Help?
The Color Purple.
The Color Purple. Oh, that's phenomenal.
The Color Purple is the greatest movie ever made. It was really not up for negotiation.
Okay.
It's the greatest movie ever made.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So we're not going to have an argument.
There's no room for it. You know? No, Color Purple. Color Purple, I agree with you.
Okay.
The Notebook, that's a fantastic one. And then you can go all the way from something that's as pleasantly emotional to, Coming to America.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? Now, one that's even more recent that I just absolutely love is called Talk to Me. Don Cheadle. And that,
yes. That's the movie about radio, actually, Mr. Hughes.
These movies, they have something to them like that. But the thing is, the way it's presented, you're interested the whole time.
I see.
That's all it is we look at movies to be entertained. You know what I mean? Some people don't even look at movies to be inspired. They just want to be entertained. But if you can entertain people and slip that in there at the same time, it's just like when you were a kid. Like when you walked out, you felt like you were Superman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you knew you didn't have a shirt yet. You know what I mean? But as far as you were concerned, I'm feeling, I just feel like jumping off something. You know what I'm saying? Like, a friend of mine did that. We were on the roof, and he jumped off the roof, and I was visiting him in the hospital, but he jumped off the roof.
Oh, no. Is he okay now?
He all right.
Okay,
now,
all right.
The vein is probably still hanging out his arm, but
Speaking of movies, you did a very recognizable movie everyone knows. I know him from someone, which was The Temptations.
Yeah.
How did you like your role, and what called you to do this role?
That's another one of those movies that I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's one you can just watch at just every day, all day. And everybody, they come up to me all the time. They know the moves. They just, watch it all the time. That was great. My mother and I were so excited about getting that movie. That was the closest to that era I was ever going to get.
Okay.
So it was my chance to be a part of. It was so inspirational to me, that era, that time, that day. It's the soul that my music is pulled from now. Is that era, Actually, one of the Temptations, Melvin Franklin, was our neighbor, lived right in our building, you know what I mean? My mother and I in Los Angeles. Actually, when he died, he was still there, and that was his residence. And so this was just a great opportunity to be a part, to have on the wig, and to, actually do music that I love that I probably wouldn't be considered allowed to do today.
Okay.
The rehearsal scene in the movie, you see us rehearsing in the house. One of my favorite moments, one of my favorite times, and what I was doing in there was off the cuff. It wasn't written, the licks and all of that stuff. So it was just great, man. I mean, the whole idea of Motown, and, we had it as close as it's ever going to get.
That's true.
You know what I mean? As close as it's ever going. I mean, that was, to me, just about flawless casting.
It was.
For every role, everybody was just right.
Very well put together. Yeah. When you get a film or when a script is given to you, what calls you to do a movie, or what are you looking for in a certain character?
Well, I'm not looking for anything in the character.
Okay.
I'm just, as long as it doesn't have what I'm against,
And
because
like
the actor is not about, the whole point of acting is it's not you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for it to need to relate to me would make me, I think, unprofessional.
I see.
And irrelevant as an actor.
Okay.
So it doesn't necessarily need to relate to me. That's why I'm acting the role. However, there's certain things that I think our world has had enough of.
Like?
The idea of niggas.
Okay.
Enough of it. You know what I mean? I'm not looking to be that, but I'm also not looking to promote it. I'm not even looking for it to be anything you see. You know what I mean? That's something I'm actually against.
Okay.
So whether it's like me, not, that's just, I'm not interested in that image and that stigma. You know what I mean? But they let me play a white guy, I'll play him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just looking for something that I can present well.
I see.
You know what I mean? And I think I don't have any limitations, because I think that if it's something that I don't have perfect already, then I'll get it, I'll learn it. Like, if we got to bring in a coach, got to bring in somebody who will get this and make sure that it's something that I present and do justice to. You know what I mean? But that's it. Just the kid that unless the role is really influential to a great message that I'm about.
I see.
You know what I mean? I just don't want that particular role.
No. Well, and you kind of get, you don't want to get typecast, and you kind of get, it's just like when I go out for auditions, you know, it's like being the nanny or being the housekeeper because you're Latino. I could be more than that. I could be Italian, I could be Jewish, I could be whatever. So I see what you mean about the expansion of a role character.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't contradict itself, you know what I mean?
Right.
With me saying, you know, it doesn't have to be about me, but then there's something that, because of how I feel, I don't want to do. You know, as complicated as it may be to understand that, that's just the reality, you know. But, you know, we African Americans, you know, are more than the so-called hood. Thank God for the hood. It's the ghetto I got a problem with.
I see what you mean. Yeah. And speaking of doing projects, would there be anything that you want to direct, or do you see yourself directing or producing films, TV?
Yeah, I think it's going to come up.
It is?
Yeah. That's another gift I think is sitting right there.
Okay, that's
directing, you know, absolutely. And when I get a shot at presenting a great story, I'm gonna take it, whether it's independently or whether I have the support of something major.
Okay.
But yeah, Dorsey and I have spoken about a couple of projects. That's probably going to move us in that area a little quicker than we thought.
Well, congratulations to you on that.
Yeah,
you can't quite let it out the bag, can you?
Yeah, not
no?
yet, you know,
all right, that's okay.
I don't have a patent on it yet.
Oh, okay,
you know, so
okay.
You know, nobody trying to take my idea.
Well, in the meantime, we will definitely keep on watching you on the game. I just want to say thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks
I
so
truly
much.
appreciate
Thanks for having
it.
me, Mama.
I love you.
Thanks for smiling like that. Thanks for looking like that,
You're
too.
welcome.
You want to do another half hour?